I am not a metal worker. Not good. Uh-oh. That's not right. Huh. What did I do? Hey everybody, welcome back to All Things Jeff. This is day 2 of the 4x8 expansion. As you can see, day 1, we got the base level done. Today, the first thing I want to do is put down the outer track on the lower level. We're going to use Lionel's track, the fast track. I have a combination of 031. I always write on the back, label, what it is, because that print they use, you can't see. So I have a combination of 031s and 036. I went to the train store and bought these 031s. I don't know why I bought 031, but I did, so that's what I'm going to use. Okay, I'm also going to put 2 power points on this track. On larger layouts, I always use 2 power points, and I've gotten in that habit. I think it's better. It gives you more consistent power around the track. All right, so that's step 1 today. Step 2, we are going to put the upper platforms on. So there'll be a platform on this end, and in that back corner. I'll show you my thought process about how I figure out my loops and how it's all going to connect. And it's a little crazy, but you'll get the hang of it. Step 3 today, we are going to do a mid-level train. It's going to be in this area somewhere, not sure exactly, and on trussels, so that it'll run right around houses and such. All right, that's enough talking. Let's get to putting this track down. Here we go. Again, this track is really simple to put together. That's what it looks like on the back, on the end. Essentially, you just slide the 2 together. Very, very easy. Okay, and that fast, we have our first loop down. Now before I screw it in place, I'm going to hook up a transformer, run a train around it, and make sure everything works good. But I think it does. I'm sure you saw I used some of these adapter tracks for the power that Lionel has. I only use those because I have them and I didn't want to buy more track. I'm cheap. But I am going to put a power point either here or over there. And I have one back there. You can see the red and white wire sticking out. All right, let's run a train. This is an old Proto 1 train, so I'm not sure how it's going to work with this old transformer, but we're going to find out here in a minute. Okay, so that ran just fine. I get down really close and I look at the lights. I just want to see if there's any flickering in the lights that indicates a bad connection. Ultimately, I'll drill a hole back there. That's just a temporary hookup for power. I'll drill a hole, but I'm going to run it right now as I screw it down. That way, if I do something to the track while I'm screwing it down, I'll know. All right. The screws I use, okay, we have a running train that took about 10 minutes, not long at all. I drilled through the platform and hooked it up underneath the track, so that's done. Everything is screwed down. I use a number 6 by 3/4 inch Phillips head screw. I'm not sure how to show you that, but that's what it looks like. Nothing fancy, just basic stuff. I use the 3/4 so it doesn't go through the plywood, and then when I'm underneath, it won't poke me. All right, next step. We are going to cut this piece of wood for the upper and figure out that back corner. This end is easy. That's a 3 foot by 5 foot. That's simple. So let's go. I'm gonna go out to the garage, cut a piece of wood. I'll be right back. Before I cut that piece of wood, there's one thing I need to do. And I think I told you I was going to use Menards trac. So I ordered some trac. I got it in. As you can see, the box was blown up, but everything inside was okay. So that's good. I ordered some 30-inch pieces just for the long runs in the back. And then I got straights and curves. You just take the top off and it's basically the display box from the store. This was a box of 24, is a box of 24. I think it was $45, so less than $2 a piece, which is really affordable compared to the Lionel or the MTH trac. Now, what I find very amusing is on the inside, they have a QR code or whatever you call that, and a warning. It says it can cause cancer. So I guess if you lick this track or you touch it and lick your hands, you can get cancer. Don't lick the track. That's crazy. Anyway, wash your hands when you're done. California's nuts. All right. So basically, this is Lionel trac from back in the day. I used to use the 027 trac. This is 031. Everything I do is 031, as you know. If you've never used it, it's very simple. You have the 3 pins, and they just go together. Very, very simple. Nothing complicated. I have noticed it's not a perfect radius. I took it out and was playing with it earlier just to see it. I'm not crazy about it, but I'm going to use it and give it a try. What I've done, I took all my labels off, because you know, when it's sitting on the layout, these labels are going to come off over time and fall down, and you'll be able to see them underneath the track. So I took them off. I'm not sure you're allowed to, but I did. All right, so my process, I wanted to get this out before I cut my wood, put a couple pieces together, figure out what the radius is, because if you remember, I want to do a top platform that comes over to about here and goes off on an angle to about 48 inches. So to start, I got some scrap wood, and we're going to put it at about 48 inches off of the bump out right here. Oh, that's right on the money. So then the other part I need to figure is roughly a 45-degree angle back. So that is roughly the shape of the platform that I want to use. So I want to see how my track fits within that top platform before I cut the wood. If I if I can get these to go together. Oh, I also got some 5-inch sections, just in case I had a perfect 5-inch piece. You can cut this stuff, and I'm going to show you how. When I come into that problem, I will show you how to cut it. I have 3 different ways I cut it. I have a favorite way though. So for now, I'm just using these to support my track for this experiment. All right, I have 2 options that I see if I keep my platform at 48 inches. This will work, and then there'll be a bridge going back. Or I could run this piece here straight, then turn, something more like that, which would use up the whole platform up top. But then I'm turning onto a bridge. It's really hard to turn onto bridges. Plus the bridge would have to be really wide to collect that turn. I think I'm going to go back to this. And now the more I look at this, I think 48 inches is too far. So that's 44 inches from the bump out. And I think that's what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to go cut a piece of wood, come back, we'll put it in place, put the track on top, and see if we like it. All right, let's go. All right, I'm back with our piece of wood. Let me go ahead and move this out of the way. Uh-oh, that's not right. Huh, what did I do? This corner is supposed to be here. It was 26 and I measured from this corner back. I should have measured from this corner over. Not a problem. I can still use this piece back in the corner. All right. Then we have to go out and cut another piece of plywood. All right. I'll put some track on there and we'll figure out exactly how that's going to work out. All right. Back to the garage. All right, take 2. All right, that's what I wanted. I wanted this corner right here. Let's put our track back on. I believe that's going to be it. By bringing it back further, I also am going to have a little bit bigger bridge. Not a big deal. Opens up space. I can still put a house or 2 over here in a small little village of some sort. No clue. I'm also making sure I leave room for a tunnel. I left 3 inches from the edge to the track, and that seems to be about the right amount. All right, let's figure out the one in the back, how that's going to work out. All right, again, this is just my way of doing things. I just make it up as I go. So back here, I want to do, this is 12 inches high, remember. I want to do a mountain back here with a tunnel, right? So I have to have a piece of track in the corner. Again, this stuff is not precise. You really have to pay attention to how the curve looks, how things go together. It's not the best quality stuff in the world, but you get what you pay for. Don't forget that. So remember, 3 inches off the wall to the outside rail. All right. And there'll be a tunnel here. I don't know, maybe there. So my tunnel mountain will start right here and go up here somewhere, or maybe these go out a little farther. So that means this track will be exposed. Normally I put switches on either end and just run one track. I wanted to do something different. So where these 2 tracks meet, it's roughly 34 inches. So I think I'm going to come out from the back wall 10. So 34 is right there. And right there. And then 10 out. About there, and here, so that gives me a small space in the front of this train track to put some little small, I don't know, decoration, I'm not sure what. So I think that's what I'm going to do. 34 by 34, 10 inches out, and a 45-degree angle. All right, I'm gonna go cut this, put some 2x4s on, make the whole frame up, and bring it back down. All right, let's get to it. Back from the garage. Platforms are built. They are sitting right behind you. I also made my legs. So there's 2 different size legs. So the shorter leg goes directly on top of the platform, and it is 11.5 inches. With the thickness of the plywood, makes 12. This leg is 15.5, and these will attach to the side. And again, gives me my perfect 12 inches. For both of these, I pre-drill all my holes. Just keeps the mess out in the garage. And for the top one, I actually pre-drill on a 45. I put a hole on each end, 2 on one side and 1 on the other. So you start your drill straight in, and then as it's running, you turn it up and just drill straight through. Very, very simple. What that does, when you put your screw in, it keeps the wood from splitting out. Again, you want to use the correct length screw. I usually use 1 5/8 so they don't stick too far through the plywood and then you're underneath and you get poked. It's a pain. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in place, grab the platform, and put it up here. Temporarily hold everything in place with clamps. There's our 12 inches. I just turned off the camera because once I installed this, I realized on a very small layout like this, 12 inches might be too high. I'm still thinking about it. I may lower it down, but before I do that, I have these trussels that go on my MTH track, and I think I'm going to run a train into this tunnel and through out the other side. But in order to do that, you have to have the clearance. So I got this engine, and if I put this engine on there, I'm just checking to see how high that actually is. I measured a few different engines and they're all about the same. Sometimes the cabooses stick up a little high. So I have 1.5 inches of space from the top of the cab to the bottom of the plywood. So I think I'm going to take off 1 inch and lower this down to 11 inches. I think that's going to look better on this scale of a layout. So give me a few minutes. I'm going to go cut some wood shorter and we're going to check that out. All right, I'm back. I got my wood here. So this is the before, so you can kind of see the different heights. So we are going to I think that makes a big difference. That extra inch, I'd like to bring it down another inch, but I still need to get that train through. But I have just about 3/4 of an inch of clearance. I think I'm happy with that. I think we're going to move forward with this. All right, let me get the other corner platform in and then we'll check it out. I am really good at moving on to the next step before I finish this step I'm working on. So we need to install these 2x4s in the correct position. Oops. We're going to start with this front 2x4 right here. We'll anchor it to the green and then anchor it through the top. We'll then use the level to level from here back, and we'll adjust this back 2x4 as necessary. Then we do the same thing on the other side, making sure everything is level. So I'm going to start with this one right here. All right. And there you have it. Very, very simple installation. Now, there's other ways to support this. I use this method because there's a very small overhang, maybe 18 inches. This, I think, will be fine. I will not be walking on this. So it's just supporting the weight of the trains. If you want to make it stronger, there's two simple ways. A longer leg. stick it up in there, cut it to the right length. That's still an inch too long because I cut these shorter. But just put another leg in there. Very, very simple. Another easy way is to cut a 45 and mount it. Just screw through down here into here and screw through the side. That gives you a little bit more strength back here on the back side. I may do this on the triangle platform. I'm still thinking about that one. So that's what we're doing next, the triangle. It's the exact same installation. It's not that complicated, it's just train. All right. Whew, I'm hot. All right, this end is done. We're gonna swing around, put up the 3x5, and the top platforms are done. And I think I'll be done too. Here we go. All right, that is it. All three top platforms are in place, screwed in place level at 11 inches. Remember, we changed that. So now you can kind of see, let me back you up and we'll get a better look at this. All right, that should be better. Now you can see what my vision was with the upper levels and the platform in the back corner. And hopefully you can see why I cut off this angle. If this platform were sticking out, it would be way out here and nothing back here would be visible. It also allowed me to make that perfect loop. I like it. All right, next steps, green grass. But before we do all of the green grass, I need to lay out where my mid-level train with the trussels is going to go. So it'll be over in this area somewhere. I haven't figured it out yet. And then I'll need to cut some holes through this 2x4 to get the train in and back out. Not a big deal. Then I can put green grass, put on my track up top, and then we learn how to build a wooden trussel bridge that's not permanent. I've done this before. I build it so that I can take it off every year and put it somewhere else on the layout. Pretty easy, you'd be shocked. And then we also have to figure out how to fill in that hole in the back. There's what's 13 inches, I think. Again, it's not hard. I've done it before. I'm trying to show you different ways to do things. So I am going to start laying out this mid-level track and putting on green grass. Let's get to it. As per usual, I changed my mind. I had ideas when I started this, and now that I see it to this point, I want to change some things. Primarily, this track right here. Now, I got my trussels out. I put a few pieces of track around so I can start to visualize what it would look like. That's how I do it. I find it very easy. So originally, I was going to have this track down here somewhere, going around under this tunnel, coming back out. I just felt like that was too small. So I've decided to bring it down here. Now, once it hits this point, there'll be a mountain it sits on, not just trussel, trussel, trussel. Same in the back by that mountain. There'll be a mountain there, not just trussels. To maximize my space here for buildings, I've decided to cross over the Lionel track in the back. I haven't figured out how I'm doing that just yet because I still have to support it correctly. But I also needed to figure out my distances to make sure there was enough space to put in my trussel. So what I did, I went in the back room and I drew up what I think the trussel is going to look like. So essentially, it's 4.5 inches on the top and 8 inches on the bottom. And that doesn't seem like a big deal with the 8 inches, but the top track needs to be 3 inches off the wall and takes up 4 inches. So that's 7 inches to this point. I needed to make sure there was going to be room for the trussel, and I think there is. I know there is. I've done the measurements. So now the next step is going to be filling in that hole. So there's two ways that I can figure out how to do it. One, I found these brackets that I use on the big layout. They're 10 inches by 10 inches with some holes. And you can just screw them on at the correct level so that a piece of plywood is at the same level when you attach the plywood. Now there's two different places you can put these. You can put them right where there is a leg, but there's a giant gap because that 2x4 takes up that space. So I cut another 2x4, put it on there, and that's how I decided to do the legs. There's 2 legs in the back, so they'll be really strong. Where there's not a leg, I just cut this end off, rounded it over so I wouldn't cut myself on burrs. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And then I can attach these at any point along that back. Maybe 3, I drilled 3 holes, so 3 screws. The other method that I used for years was this. Now this is a 1x12, but I would use a 2x12. I don't have any laying around, that's why I use this. So you just cut a piece off. This is about 5 inches, this is about 2 inches, or 2.5 inches. So essentially this piece would mount to there, screwed from the back, and then put your plywood on and screw it down. Pre-drill everything so you don't split it. These are not extremely strong. You are not going to be able to walk on them, but they'll hold up whatever you're putting on here for a train layout. All right, so that's our next step. I'm gonna move you guys back there, point you down in the hole so you can see this awkwardness. It's gonna be tight, but I'll get it. We'll figure it out. And then we will move on to installing this track. Here we go. All right, now just attach it from the bottom and we're done. The two pieces of wood that back there are screwed down from the bottom, or screwed up. Now it's time to put this track in place. So I need to remove this platform so I can put the track underneath. I've already taken the screws out of the side and the top, so I'll just pop that off and we can start laying out this track. I've decided for this layout to use all tubular track for the MTH. I used the solid track on the big layout, but we're going to give this a try. Okay, that's my first attempt at this layout. Two things I'm not happy with. Back here, I need to go over the Lionel track, which means I have to support it with some plywood. But this is going to be plywood from about here all the way around anyway. So that's probably not a problem. The other thing I'm not crazy about is how I'm going over the Lionel track. It's a really long span because I'm crossing it with a curve. So I'm gonna have to think about that one for a little while. Yeah, I like this because this is the edge of the tunnel and this is the tunnel. So it's a decent length tunnel. It's not too short. I got to think about how the bridge is going to go over that train with a tunnel entrance under it. But I have an idea. Okay, I think that might be it. It's been a long day. I think we're working on about 7.5 hours today. So day 2, I'm gonna say is done. Next episode, I will finalize this. We'll put the plywood where it needs to be, put some green grass up top, cut some holes in this one, reinstall it, and hopefully get the top track in place. We'll put a temporary bridge in where the trussel is going to go. Yeah, I'm going to think about this for a little while, but thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.